Me is Ryan McLaughlin, student intern, who's on the brief in the appeals court. With me is also Gregory Henning, the trial and motion prosecutor on this case.
So you're going to help us understand what the United States Supreme Court has asked us to do.
I am.
Good.
Before you do that, do you concede that your letter of October 5th is wrong when you say that citizens in Massachusetts as young as 15 years of age have the right to possess a firearm in the home?
No.
Is that wrong?
No.
So they do?
Yes.
So a firearm, we're talking about the statutory definition of a firearm,
Correct.
can be possessed by someone as young as 15 in the home or in his or her place of business.
With an FID card, because you have to get a parent's permission, 15 to 18, and over 18.
This is handguns. We're not talking about rifles.
Right. This is handguns.
We just got a letter this morning, and
Correct.
that's why it's so responsible for us to absorb
No, I
all this
understand.
at this point when these decisions have been out for months. We've got 3 or 4 submissions this week, including this morning. But the other side says that there is an absolute ban on possession of a handgun.
No. If you look at 129B, Section 6, which the amicus goal has set out, it limits certain guns, and it uses the phrase right here: a firearm identification card to an entitled holder thereof to possess shall not entitle to possess, and then it goes 1 and 2, and they're pointing obviously to 2. But if you look at itself, you go to, it involves, they use the word possess, but in terms of looking at the regulatory scheme under 129B and 129C, 131A, which is your ability to get a firearm, under 129A, if you have a firearm identification card and you get a permit to purchase under 131A, that you have the ability to purchase a handgun if you're over 18, you're able to have that handgun.
Well, what about the statute about that requires it being locked in the home?
What, 131L?
The one that's an issue here.
No.
Chapter 140, section, the one that talks about you having the home unlocked unless you're the owner or someone under the control of the owner.
Correct. So if it's under your control in the home,
Yeah.
you can have a handgun. And under just to point out, 26910H, which is the criminal statute, which here the defendant says she's not contesting the regulatory scheme. Under the criminal statute, under 26910H, it is not a crime to have a gun in your home with an FID card.
So I'm just reading from the letter, and I'm not asking you to. Well, similarly here, this is the defendant's claim. 269 section 10 without the subsection, and 140, chapter 140, 131 without a subsection, categorically ban 18 to 20-year-olds from possessing handguns inside and outside the home. You would say that's just flat wrong.
That is correct. If you look at 269H1, it says that if you own or possess a handgun with complying with 129C, then which is the firearm identification card statute regulation, that it is not a crime to have a firearm in your house with an FID card.
So where does that get us with respect to the challenge here?
Well, he was charged under 26910A, and so I'm not saying that an FID card at all. If you walk out onto the street, then you're no, that's not a criminal act. You have to have a license under 140, 131, 131, and that is only limited to people that are over 21.
What you're suggesting is, if you look at Heller and McDonald,
Correct.
Persons from age 15 to 20 can actually possess a firearm in their homes.
Without being, that is not a criminal offense under 269.
As long as they have an FID card,
Correct.
which they can get at those ages.
Correct.
So they have the ability to defend themselves in their homes or their place of businesses. I take it that's your point.
Correct. And And I think that if you look at Heller, I mean, the Supreme Court in Heller and McDonald go on and on. But if you look at, they're very clear about their holding. I mean, in Heller, in sum, we hold that the district court's ban on handgun possessions in the home violates the Second Amendment, as does its prohibition against rendering any lawful firearm in the home operable for the purpose of immediate self-defense.
So is that your response to the defendant's argument